Mark Livingstone is in the house. And by the way, this segment is brought to you by our good friend Mark Livingstone at Cornerstone First Financial. Recent changes in the reverse mortgage industry make them even more attractive right now. Now, what you got to do is call Cornerstone First right now, 202-625-1221, or let your fingers do the browsing at cornerstonefirst.com. Speak of Mark Livingstone, he is in the house. We are live today from Washington, D.C. We're in the middle of the swamp right here at Corey Lewandowski Galactic Milky Way headquarters. Very intriguing place this is.
It's beautiful.
Corey Lewandowski Galactic headquarters. Even Politico a little taken aback by the intrigue surrounding Corey Lewandowski Galactic headquarters. But joining us now is my good friend and an original sponsor, a founding sponsor of the John Fredericks Show, looking dapper as ever, Mark Livingstone.
Thank you, sir. Great to see you. It's been, what, a few weeks? Last time I saw you was at the Broadcasters Ball downtown.
That's right.
With Rush Limbaugh, Joe Piscopo.
Yes.
The other radio hosts, and saw you and just had a wonderful time 3 weeks ago now.
3 weeks.
Yes.
Chris Plant was there.
That's right, Chris Plant. So it's great to be here. Congratulations on 1260 The Answer.
Woohoo!
I know that next Monday we're switching over to 570 AM.
570. It's a beast.
Much bigger
beast
area, geographically speaking.
Hey, so if you're listening to us right now on AM 1260, come Monday, you want to go to AM 570. Better signal, better ingredients.
That's right. More listeners.
Better listeners.
More followers on Twitter. All that.
Oh, good. AM 570. Just switch a dial. I know you hate changes like, oh, I want 1260. No, it's 1260 is fine, but bigger, better. AM 570, The Answer. It's a beast in Northern Virginia and the greater Washington, D.C. metropolitan area.
Yeah, excellent. Well, great to be here in the middle of the swamp. As you know, I live here, actually just about a mile up the road.
Swampland, USA.
And it is exciting to have you here in the nation's capital, just literally almost in the shadow of the nation's capital. It's just that we're right down the street. In fact, I'll probably walk up there after I leave here just to take a look at our structure of freedom and liberty.
Well, I like that. Very inspiring. Every time you come in, I get inspired.
Oh, thank you.
You really do. Okay, now let's talk a little common sense here, a little economics.
Mortgages,
rates. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a new Fed chairman coming in.
That's right, Jerome Powell.
Jerome Powell.
I think he's going to follow what has been happening already. I think that he was picked. He's a Republican, former lawyer, and he is just going to follow the way of what's been happening within the Fed so far. All indicators, John, are that the Fed is going to raise the interest rates, the overnight lending rate, in December, which has a direct impact on the mortgage interest rates. But more importantly, what a lot of the listeners don't realize is that when the Fed raises interest rates, it impacts them in every way, from credit cards to home equity lines of credit, to home mortgages. And so we know that that is imminent. It's coming December 12th. The Fed is going to be raising interest rates. And right now what's happening is that the rates are taking that into account and moving up little by little. So right now what really powers the economy is housing and jobs. The jobless rate right now is the lowest it's been in years. It's right at about 4.1%, which is outstanding. Housing, right now there aren't enough houses available. Housing has picked up. It's doing well. We know that inflation is starting to tick up. So again, all indicators point towards a interest rate rise in December at the Fed meeting. They're saying it's an 80% likelihood, which is, if I had an 80%, I'd put my money on that. And so what I'm saying to the listeners today is that because this is going to impact you every way, that if you're on the fence and you're thinking about refinancing and taking out a loan, now is the time to do it. There's no better time than right now. Last time I was on the show, which was July 27th, interest rates were hovering just below 4%. We've moved up a little bit from there. And no, we're not on the lows of summer of 2016, 3.5%, but we're just below 4% right now on a 15-year VA or FHA loan. The conforming rates are just above 4%. And so again, if somebody's listening right now and they have credit cards that they want to consolidate, or if they took out a mortgage in the last 5 years and have what's called PMI, the private mortgage insurance, then they may want to look into refinancing to eliminate that, because we've seen within your listening area some double-digit home appreciation numbers. Now, overall, in Virginia, the appreciation numbers are right around 8 to 9%.
Wow.
But if you bought a house and only put down 10% so that you had a 90% loan to value, do yourself a favor and call our office. We'll run comps on your property, and you may qualify to eliminate that PMI, saving you a couple $100 a month.
It's a big number.
That's a big number, right?
Right.
I mean, a couple $100 extra a month. What are you going to do with it?
Well, I tell you what, it would mean a lot to me, because I would get a new vehicle, although I do love my 2008 Saturn Astra. It's got 150,000 miles on it.
Okay.
So that thing's on its last leg, so it would help with a car payment. I could also, do more with my family on vacation. I could go on that once in a while. We don't often go. We don't have the resources. So things like that I would do. Now, if I can combine that with the Trump tax cut coming down the pike, if these weasels in the U.S. Senate would back it, I get the Trump tax cut. Plus, I could save your mortgage deal. That could be like $400 a month.
That could
It's like
be
$5,000.
not
Cash
bad,
money.
right?
Cash money.
Right. And so
It's better than cash.
Better
it's
than
money.
cash. Right. And so what we're seeing a lot right now, John, is people calling in that are hearing me telling about this imminent rate rise. And so therefore they're trying to get on the train to save money. And right now with the homes appreciating, so get this, I pulled some numbers this morning. The average home price in Fairfax County, Virginia is $517,000. Okay.
Wow, 517 average.
Average. In Chesapeake,
Fairfax,
Virginia, it goes down to $249,000.
Imagine that.
In Richmond, it's lower than that. It's $214,000. That's the median home price in those areas, okay? Nationally speaking, it's gone up this year to $245,100. That's the national average median home price.
250,000 about.
250,000, yes.
Right.
And that's the same number that 30% of all new home purchases right now are by first-time home buyers. And
It's
there's
about 250.
is about 250. And there is such a low number of inventory of homes in that area that they're saying that it's going to cause a backlog, and there's not enough inventory for these first-time home buyers, which are mostly millennials, to buy, and that's pushing up the numbers as well. So again, interest rates are low right now. The Fed chairman, Jay Powell, has said that he predicts that rates will be up around 6.5% by 2019. Okay, the Fed originally predicted this year 6 increases. They're only going to do 4, it looks like, at this point. They've done 3 already. The 4th will be in December. And then they're predicting that in 2018, to keep inflation intact, they're going to do 4 more rises. And then in 2019, we'll be up around 6% interest rate.
Well, this makes sense, Mark, because look, the interest rates in the USA have been artificially kept down because of the disastrous 1%, under 1% growth economy that we've had. So I've been a supporter of Janet Yellen because I think she did the right thing in keeping interest rates down when the economy was in the tank, right? But they were artificial.
Correct.
And that's why the stock market's artificial, because if you're getting a 1% return on a time deposit, it's not enough. You're going to put your money in stocks and bonds. So as the economy gets better, as the Trump economy grows,
which
it is, you have to get rid of quantitative easing. You have to let the rates rise to where they should be so that you're in equilibrium. Now, that means if you're getting a mortgage, why would you wait until the inevitable happens and rates go up to where they ought to be? Why not lock in now at under 3%?
Right. And just to reiterate, that rate increase by the Fed is going to impact everybody. There's a trickle-down effect. So it's going to be credit cards. It's going to be home equity lines of credit. It's going to be business loans. And so then what will happen is businesses will raise the price of their products. So everything is going to be more expensive, and that's called inflation.
Right.
And so the Fed's job is to keep inflation in check. And so, yeah, interest rates are going up. Listen, if you want to put a flag in your yard saying that you got 3.5%, I'll sell you a flag. But if it's not saving you any money by consolidating your debt, then what good is it, right?
Right.
So
Gotta
right
save
now,
money.
right, got to save money. So right now, I'm taking people that are at 3.5, 3.75, and giving them a rate around 4%. But when they consolidate the home equity line of credit, when they consolidate the credit cards, and they're saving money per month, that's the bottom line.
Is you save money.
Right.
That's
so
what you want to do.
There's two kinds of second mortgages, a home equity line of credit and a home equity loan. A home equity loan is a fixed rate with a fixed term. A home equity line of credit is like a credit card against the house. Now, on both of these products, the interest is tax deductible, but with a home equity line of credit, the rate's going to fluctuate. It goes with prime, so it can go up, it can go down.
With a home equity loan, you're locked in.
Right, but the rate's going to be a lot higher than a first mortgage rate. The rates are always higher on second mortgages, and right now the going rate for a second home equity loan is right around 5.5% to 7.5%, predicated on your credit score.
Right.
So if you want to refinance it all into one low fixed rate first mortgage, you can do that too. Now, FHA allows you to go up to 85% of your home's value with cash out, or you can go to 80% with a Fannie Mae loan, cash out, and then put all that under the umbrella of your first mortgage.
But the first thing we have to do is you got to get your house appraised, right? Because you got to know what the value
Correct.
is.
Yes.
You got to do that for anything else. And a lot of people don't want to spend. That's like $200-300. People just don't want to spend that.
Right. Okay. Great segue. I don't know if you knew I was going to do this or not, but the last time I was on the show, I said, which was July 27th, I said, anyone calling in today that mentions this conversation you and I are having on the radio
Right now,
call in. I'll pay for your appraisal.
That's hot.
And so immediately we picked up 4 new customers last July.
That's
I paid
hot.
for all appraisals. The only caveat is I didn't say that it's up to a certain amount. And I did a loan for somebody in Virginia Beach who was one of your listeners, and the appraisal was $750 because they were on a lot of acreage. So I'll pay up to $450, which is the average cost of an appraisal. If you mention today, John Fredericks, Mark Livingstone, talking on the phone, $450 appraisal value. I have loan officers standing by right now at Cornerstone First, and that number is 202-625-1221. 202-625-1221. Do yourself a favor. Give us a call today only. Say, hey, I heard Mark talking to John, and we'll pay for your appraisal after closing. You pay for it up front. We refund you. We've done that with a bunch of your listeners. And by the way, your listeners, for some reason, are very, very friendly compared to some of the other stations. And they're very knowledgeable. They know what they want. They call. They're very educated. The John Frederick listeners are definitely, I don't want to say a cut above the rest, but they are kind of a cut above the rest.
President Trump says, I have the best listeners in America.
Wow, there you go. President Trump and I, there you go.
That's what he says. He said that 2 times.
Okay,
he said
there
you got the best listeners in America, because they used to, when they first started their campaign, they put my show on in the office there.
Okay.
Because I was a big backer of his, so he'd see the callers coming in. I love your callers, so we appreciate that. But
I love that.
This is a big deal here, right? And I love to save my customers money because I got a lot of frugal customers. Look, you're thinking about refi, second mortgage, getting this done. First thing you got to do, you got to get an appraisal, right? That's $400-$500. Mark is giving it to you, up to $450 appraisal
today
free,
only.
Done deal. But you got to call today,
right? And while we're talking about refinances,
let's get the number because they want to call.
202-625-1221 or cornerstonefirst.com is our website. So the other thing I wanted to say is we're talking about refinances, purchases too. What happens is in a market where rates go up, there's more competition, and banks, they make a lot of their money off mortgages.
Right.
So what do? They make better programs. They loosen a little bit of the regulations and guidelines for mortgages to make them more attractive, to attract more people that otherwise may not qualify for a vanilla mortgage.
Right.
Have you heard this one before?
No.
Okay. Well, it happened 10 years ago. That's what happened with the housing implosion, is all these lenders started offering these loans. Remember the liar's loans?
Liar's loans.
Yes. Just sign on the dotted line and we'll give you a loan.
Liar's loans, just sign on the dotted line.
Right. Because the banks
Well, that's what caused the housing crisis.
That's what I'm saying. So we're not there yet. I don't think we're going back there. But because interest rates have moved up off their lows from 2 summers ago, what we're seeing is that we have investors coming in that are offering programs like a bank statement program. We have a program that if you're self-employed and, you're going to write stuff off as a self-employed person, all we need to see are your bank statements for the past 12 months. We'll average together that income, and that's what we're going to use, right? Mm-hmm. So therefore, it doesn't matter if you have all these deductions and your adjusted gross income is less. We're going to go off the bank statement program. We have a new program. I'm working with a gentleman, one of your listeners. He's a retired firefighter from Fairfax County, living down in Southern Virginia right now. He heard you and talking about some of the programs we at Cornerstone First offer. And he is a year out of bankruptcy. Most banks are not even going to touch you, and I'm able to get him a loan.
You can't get in the door.
Right.
But you can't get a checking account, let alone a loan.
Right. And at Cornerstone First Financial, we were able to secure him a loan so that he is able to refinance out of his balloon mortgage. Now, it's a higher interest rate than the going rate, obviously, but the goal is to get him out of his balloon mortgage and come back in another year after it's been 2 years from the bankruptcy discharge and refinance him again. Fannie Mae has a new program, 3% down, and this program is to offset the FHA program, which is 3.5% down, and Fannie Mae wants to attract those FHA borrowers who have a good credit score. So they're offering 3% down. The debt-to-income ratios are higher than the regular Fannie Mae program. It's not just for first-time home buyers. It's whether you're moving up or moving down. It's a great Fannie Mae program. It's their answer to the FHA program, which is 3.5% down with permanent mortgage insurance.
Permanent.
Yes. FHA changed that 2 years ago.
Like forever.
Forever. The only way to lose your PMI, mortgage insurance, on an FHA loan as of 2 years ago is to refinance out of that loan.
And so, look, now's the time. Look, rates are going to go up because they have to go up because they've been artificially held down. As the economy gets better, quantitative easing is gone. So the time to take advantage of this is right now, under 4%. They're going to go up. They're going to go up the next month. But you got to act now. But the other thing is, Mark Livingstone from CornerstoneFirst.com, he's going to give you a free appraisal on your home up to $450.
That's right. With every closed loan.
With every closed loan. That's big dollars, big money. Give them a call. What do you have to lose? Check it out. 202-625-1221. 202-625-1221. Right now, Mark Livingstone, his guys standing by, and gals, 202-625-1221. Or you can just go to cornerstonefirst.com and say, hey, I heard Mark on Fredericks. I'm fired up. I want to get my free appraisal. I want to have a conversation.
That's right.
You go from there. You have a just like calling our show, right? You have a conversation.
That's right. And I know that I'm giving people a fire hose amount of information with FHA and what's going on with the economy and interest rates. So just call if you want more information, or you can go to our website, cornerstonefirst.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at Cornerstone1ST. And we have all the information. My job is to keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening with interest rates, programs. We are a lender and a broker, which means that if we don't have the program within our guidelines as a lender, then we're going to broker your loan out to a bank that otherwise only comes to brokers and can do anything. I say we can meet or beat anybody, and if we can't do it, nobody can. So even if you're in a predicament, you have challenged credit, give us a call and see if there's something you can do.
Okay, I've got a text here from Joe in Suffolk. Says, I like this guy. Would you ask him? He says, I like this guy. Is that me you're referring to? Or no, it's Mark. I like this guy. Can you ask him about the PMI and how is it for someone that has a 780 credit score? That's pretty high, isn't it?
That is a great credit score. The max credit score is 850. I don't think I've ever seen one that high. I've seen in the 8s, but just a handful. So, and that's Joe? Was that his name?
Joe in Suffolk.
Joe in Suffolk. Okay, so a mortgage insurance is not predicated at all on a credit score. It has to do with how much equity you have in the home. So anytime you have less than 20% equity, you're going to have what's called mortgage insurance. And what that does is it does not benefit you, the homeowner, whatsoever. It's benefiting the lender, so that if the loan was to go into default, the mortgage insurance company is going to pay the lender the difference between what the house was foreclosed at and what was recouped, what was owed. So mortgage insurance has nothing to do with your credit score, Joe. It has to do with only the amount of equity.
Okay, we're running out of time. 202-625-1221, 202-625-1221, or go to cornerstonefirst.com. Call today and get your free home appraisal at closing. 202-625-1221, or go to cornerstonefirst.com. And we want to thank Mark Livingstone for being here in the flesh, in the house.
Great.
I know you want that number again. What is it?
202.
I'm going to give it to you. 202?
625-1221.
Or
cornerstonefirst.com.
Boom! Get the savings. Call them now.